everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to be talking about our 1 and 2 star rated videos for the year. And I have a good chunk of them. So I guess let's start with our 2 star ratings, and then we'll, wait until the big finale to do the 1 stars. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my one book that I do have that is an actual physical copy. This one I gave 2 stars. It is called The Goals of Howell Fair. I did not really like this storyline at all, and I will say the writing was okay, which is why it got 2 stars, but just like the storyline just was not that great. I didn't really care for it. So that is a 2 star read. And then I'm gonna just rush through my 2 stars because all the rest of them are all just like pictured ones. We have Juniper Berry. I did not like the storyline was okay, but it just was very, very weird and made no sense, and I just personally didn't like it. Then we have The School for Good and Evil. I wanted to read this one because I wanted to watch the movie on Netflix, but then I have not watched it because I didn't realize it was like a 3-hour long movie. I just didn't really like the storyline, and I feel like when it first came out, it was very, very hyped up as a good book, and for me, it just was not that great. I didn't really care for it. Then we have Small Town, Big Magic. That one was also a big book this past year that a lot of people talked about, and me personally, I didn't really like some of the characters in it. I felt like the story was just dragging on for a long time. And I don't know, from what I can remember, because it's been a while since I've read it, but I just personally didn't like it. Then When the Sky Fell on Splendor, it's from Emily Henry. It's one of her older books. I'm pretty sure that's who it was by. It's like a sci-fi book, and I liked the banter and the going back and forth between the friend group and their stuff was really funny, but the actual overall storyline was just not it for me. And then we have Emmy and the Key of Code, which I've talked about in one of my other videos. Just the way that it was written just was not my favorite. And then Ghosts, which is a graphic novel. I was expecting it to be different than what it actually was, and I just personally didn't like it. We have this it's Welcome to, or You're Invited to the Creepover, and it's just basically one of those small books that a 3rd or 4th grader would read, and the storyline was interesting, but it just was not what I thought it was going to be. Be Prepared, which is a graphic novel. I was not expecting the storyline to be the way it was, and I just personally didn't really like it. And then we have the 3rd book of the Love Sugar Magic series. This book, it turned into a whole different vibe in that book and went very dark for a kid's a children's book, or not really children's, middle grade book. It just took a very creepy, weird turn for me, and I was not expecting it. And then my last 2 star rating was Things I Should Have Said by Jamie Lynn Spears. And if you know, you know why that is 2 stars. If you've read the book and you've seen all of the interviews of people saying things that basically her book was basically a fake thing, most of the stuff that she said in it was all a lie, and all the things, so that was interesting. And then in a lot of stuff that she talked about, I already knew through the tabloids and stuff, and she was basically saying the same thing, or twisting the words of what happened and things. I don't know, it was just all over a hot mess. And then my 1 star rating books, I have 3. My 1 star rated books are The Door Behind the Staircase, which this book was nothing like what I thought it was going to be. There was nothing about a door behind a staircase. It talked about it, but then it never told you what was behind that staircase, doorway in the staircase. There was nothing about that. All of it was a weird fantasy world. It was the town and then a bubble of magic area. I don't know, it was really weird, and it had nothing to do with a door and a staircase. It talked about a house with chicken legs, which there's a book called The House with Chicken Legs, and it talked about that in the book, which is weird. But anyways, that is just why I gave it 1 star, because it's just not what I thought it was going to be. Then we have The Midnight Hour, which this book took me a minute to read, even though it was during a readathon. But I just was like, that was like the last book I wanted to read. I did not really care for the storyline. Nothing was making sense in it. It was all over the place, and I just didn't like the book as a whole. And then 16 Scandals, which I got at Barnes & Noble earlier this last year, and I actually sent it off to a little library somewhere in my town because I didn't really care for the book and I didn't really want to keep it on my shelf. I unhauled it as quick as I could. I didn't like the guy that she picked in the story. I didn't like his vibes. I didn't like it was very Bridgerton-like, and I am not a huge fan of Bridgerton, but if you are, you probably will like it. But it's very much like how she's going out into society for the first time as a 16-year-old, and she's trying to like learn the ropes of being in the social like stuff and like all the parties and things and being out and about as an adult in a way, and it just like was not my vibe. So that is literally all of my 2 and 1 star rated books. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you would rate any of these books a different way, or if you agree with any of my ratings. And make sure to subscribe, make sure to follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!